Now, Africa is asking for a seat in the UN, you know, and Nigeria is saying, permanent seat at the Security Council, Nigeria is saying, look, we deserve it. Barrister, what's your reaction?
My reaction is very simple.
Which is?
Nigeria do not deserve what they are asking for.
I didn't get that.
Well,
Nigeria wants a permanent seat at the Security Council, and you say that the country is not deserving of it.
They don't deserve it.
What are the reasons? What are your reasons?
Mr. Okoro, that every dick and Harry is asking for something does not mean that Tom should now follow. What do you have to join? Do you know what it means?
What
permanent seats at the Security Council of the UN. Do you have a democracy in the first place? Are you under a democracy now?
China is a permanent member. Is it a democracy in the actual sense of democracy?
We know China for who they are.
Okay.
But in your own case now, you profess to be a democratic country. But in reality, are you practicing democracy? The answer is no. China is known for who they are, a socialist welfare state. In your own case, you claim to be a democratic government.
China also claims to be a democracy.
Ghana,
China, I mean.
Yes,
to be a democracy.
No, in their own, oh my God, in their own setting, China is known for what they are.
Barrister, why shouldn't we be known for what we are?
No, your own is deceit here. You claim to be a democratic government, but you are not. In fact, you are like a military administration. All the facts are there. Then two, the financial model, do you have it? The answer is no. You don't have it. Then when it comes to rule of law and all that, you are far behind. So on what basis will you be a member?
I'm sorry, Barrister. I hate for us to get into this argument. But for all the issues, all the points that you listed now, the indicators that you listed for membership, I think China only qualifies for one, which is financial capability. In terms of rule of law...
Military.
Okay, military. In terms of financial and military, in terms of rule of law, in terms of democracy, China is clearly not one. But they remain a member of the permanent of the United Nations Security Council.
Because they have something to bring to the table.
Okay, you think that Nigeria, we don't have anything to bring to the table?
Tell me what you bring to the table. You can see. Tell me that you can bring to the table that will even outshine the other members. Nothing. When it comes to global affairs, are you there? You are not even a regional power.
Barrister, what we are looking at?
You are not even a regional power. You are aware? You
in Africa?
You are not
in West Africa?
In West Africa, you are not. In Africa, you are not. So, I mean, if you are a regional power, why would your ECOWAS disintegrate under your watch? You don't even have any influence in your domain, and you want to go to the UN to be what?
Barrister, would that be a measure? Would that be a good measure? Because we also see countries in Europe disintegrate under the watch of EU. So does that mean that EU is not a continental power?
They came together and agreed that this is the way to go. After all, Britain, I think, is the economic withdrawal from Europe.
But the Alliance of Sahel States also came together and agreed to exit ECOWAS. So what's the difference?
No. They did not. It was through a military coup.
And those countries exited. Barrister, let's dwell. I want us to concentrate on Nigeria, you know, and you say that Nigeria doesn't qualify to have a permanent seat in the UN because, according to you, they don't have the financial power, they don't have the military strength, they are not even a regional power, and probably not a democracy that we pretend to be a democracy. Which country in Africa qualifies for that seat?
None for now. Until you people go to that your AU building and say things that will guarantee good governance, rule of law, corruption-free nation. I mean, look at it yourself. These are issues that the Western world look at. They will be making mockery of all of us. Especially that of corruption and good governance. These are things that you must bring to the table. But you can't bring any of this into the table in the UN. You can't. You are not there. So let us not deceive ourselves. Let's solve our internal problem first. They will even beg us to come and be a member. I'm not joking.
Okay, Barrister, they will beg us to come and be a member.
Yeah,
let's go to Latin America now. Which country in Latin America qualifies for UN permanent seat? Brazil, Argentina, which one?
the issue of Latin American nations.
Okay.
If they can separate themselves from drug peddling, it will help them. But I don't think, in fact, Africa had a better chance than Latin America, because they are in fact, they are almost drug-ridden economy. Is that what you want to bring to the table? They are not even qualified again. So these other countries that are clamoring for this thing, have they looked inwards and see whether they have the templates? What are those things that will guarantee them a seat in the UN? There is none. That's the truth. All of them, they are all reading one corruption case or the other.
You sound as one that believes that the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, that they are all saints. I want us to go back in history. You recall how they became membership, how they acquired membership of the UN Security Council.
They defeated Hitler, yes.
They defeated the Allied powers, Germany, Italy, and all of that, Japan. Now, if you look at that time, they were the world powers, but clearly, you see some countries in Asia doing better than countries like France. You know, these are second-rate world powers, France, Britain, and all of that. But they continue to maintain, their position in the UN Security Council with the veto power with which they used to decide. Look at Russia itself. Russia is even struggling with the war that is ongoing with the economy and all of that, and the problems within that region. Yet, no Asian country, even the ones that are doing very well, has a permanent seat. Is there any justification for all of that? So at this point, do you think that the UN shouldn't reform in terms of membership of the UN Security Council? If
they want to reform, that does not mean that they should bring you into their fold. You are not qualified to be there.
Okay.
Yes, you are not. With what is happening with these countries you are mentioning?
Barrister, let's look at South Africa. Is South Africa not qualified?
They are not.
Why?
Because it is the white that are dominating that economy. In fact, South Africa is not truly independent as of today. Their economy is controlled by the minority whites. So
no, Barrister, those white people are South Africans. It doesn't matter. Their race doesn't matter.
Well, it matters, because go and ask Donald Trump. When they were threatened or whatever, didn't you see the reaction of Donald Trump? Because they are their brothers.
Okay.
Didn't you see that reaction? That will tell you that sanguinity or affinity is still there. They can't forget.
Are you aware that South Africa is a nuclear power? Are you aware?
All those things are minor issue.
So which one is the major? What are the major considerations?
The major is your economy and your military power.
South Africa is number 1 in Africa.
And number what in the world?
Okay, if you look at, Barrister, it's not a laughing matter. If you look at global ratings, countries like France don't even do well in terms of, even in Europe there, globally, they don't do well. So why should they continue to retain that membership?
They have colonial states in Africa.
Okay.
This is an issue. All these permanent members, go and check. So maybe apart from China, who doesn't have any colonial they are not interested.
America?
Neo-colonialism, they are controlling the economy of Africa.
Okay, so you are comfortable with the way the UN is structured at the moment?
Free yourself. They will call you to join them. I'm not joking.
So for the past 70 years, no country in the world, in Europe, in Asia, has done well for UN to call them and say, come and become permanent members. We're not talking about, there are other members, 15 in general, but 5 of them are permanent. So you mean that no country in the world has done well for the past 70-something years to attract that call, to prompt that call by the 5 members?
If there is mention.
No, I'm just asking. What happened to the Asian tigers economically?
Oh my God. Who are the Asian tigers?
They were able to overcome stereotypes of countries.
There's no more Asian tiger. What we have now is Asian, maybe dog. No more tiger.
Barrister, are you serious?
Yes. We don't have, there's no more.
Let's get out of all those arguments. Your position is that, look, United Nations should remain as it is at this moment.
Yes, until you are matured enough. In fact, I am even thinking that most African states got independence at the wrong time. They were not mature before they got independence. Seriously, yes. That's why they are behaving like this. I'm not joking. They were not mature before they got independent. And that is one of the reasons why these Western leaders are they say these people, they are not serious. Is that not a fact?
Well, unfortunately, so according to Barrister Darlington. Now, apart from the permanent seat, Nigeria is also asking for sovereign debt relief. After Obasanjo secured debt relief, we accumulated another round of debts. Barrister,
so what?
Nigeria, are we behaving like an ostrich that is hiding his head in the sand and thinking that we are overly smart?
Really? So you are now joining my...
No, I'm not joining you. I'm just asking a question.
You are joining my club, Nabi.
Which club is that?
The club of pessimists. Mr. Okoro, don't push it.
No, Barrister, I asked
listen very well. Listen and listen good. They said in my place, when any young man want to ask what killed the father, when he's not yet mature, that thing that killed the father may kill him. You should go back to history here. When Abiola was asking for reparation, in fact, that was one of his own doing. I hope you know. He was very strong on that area. Reparation. They should give us back reparation. Did they ask you to sell your people into slavery? Did they come here and then fight you with guns and ammunition to take their people away? Are you not the one that sold your people into slavery? Are you not the one? So why would you not be asking for reparation as if you are forced into it? That thing cost him his political career, even his life, because they were not comfortable. He went to the UN and was preaching reparation. They were warning him to stop this noise. He refused to listen. I mean, look at it very well. Did they ask you to give them? Are you not the one that sold your people into slavery? And you are not asking for reparation? Apart from that, listen very well. Like the proverb I told you, Moritala, he tried to, flex muscle with Britain and all that when they cancelled the Commonwealth Games. And the Whitehall got angry. And the result is now known to everybody. Yes, Mauritania, many African nations follow suit when Nigeria boycotted it.
Barrister, at this point, what we are asking is for debt relief, not reparations.
Yes, really?
Like what Obasanjo and Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala secured, when they went to Paris Club, London Club. At that point, I think it was about in excess of $30 billion relief. And
so that would
now we accumulated more debts. Now we are looking at 144 trillion naira.
Really?
Now Nigeria says, look, not just Nigeria, other countries, we need to renegotiate, we need to restructure these debts to the extent that it is lighter for us to pay. Like, that Nigeria, at a point, we were servicing our debts with like 96-97% of our revenue.
Whose fault to be so cool?
Now the point is this: do you think that we deserve that sovereign wealth? Sovereign debt relief?
I have said that they should not cancel any debt. Mr. Okoro, after that first mistake by Obasanjo, the Western world will not make another mistake. The question is, the debt you accumulated, where is the evidence? Where are the benefits in your country? This money has gone back to where it came from, through dubious means, through fraudulent means. And you think this Western leader, they are not seeing what is going on? They know that the money that you went to dump in their country is stolen funds. And these funds, you borrowed it. So why would they not listen to you when you're talking of... No, tell me why.
Barrister, we have used some of this money for infrastructure.
You say what?
Yes, we have used some of this money for infrastructure.
Where is the infrastructure?
Ongoing road construction.
Where is
super highways.
Where is
Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway. Badagry Sokoto Highway. We built a rail line from Katsina State to Maradi in Niger Republic and all of that. Internal roads, infrastructure, into electricity and all of that.
At what cost? Mr. Okoro, at what cost? You are building infrastructure and you now have to empty our treasury. You emptied it. Yet, there's no clear-cut evidence that, yes, these things were properly priced, properly, these people that bidded, and properly funded. So when you have been so profligate with your money, thinking that the Western world, Father Christmas, will forgive you your debt, don't you think that is the most foolish way of running an economy? These other countries that are not looking up to people cancelling debt and all that, they are stupid, Abi. they should never forgive any debt again. I'm not joking, because the leaders we have in Nigeria are so profligate. They are irresponsible when it comes to financial management. Very, very irresponsible. Look at what is going on, even recently under your watch. How do you explain that? You forgot that all the nations of the world, they have embassy here. And their embassy is really, they have even commercial department. They have a press department. So they monitor everything that happens here, and they have taken record. So you mean after all these wastages, then somebody should now say, okay, yeah, don't worry, let's cancel the debt so that you continue with your wastage. It's not done that way. Nobody have time for that. This time around, you will pay for all this money. After all, you entered into it, you negotiated into it. So what are you saying? They that manage your economy, manage your resources, manage your finances, are they stupid? If they have been frittering it away like you, will they have anyone to give you? China is 1.4 billion human beings, and they are living well. Their people are not all over the world begging for food and all that. 1.4 billion. You are just over 200 million. And things are like this. Let them not cancel any debt, though. Nigeria must pay that debt.
Okay, Barrister, so you are not comfortable. It's huge here. It's quite scary, the position you have adopted, because what it clearly shows is that, like the federal government has also said, we will not continue to borrow locally. So does that make a difference? And mind you, Nigeria is not asking for debt relief for Nigeria alone, for the entire African continent and other third world countries, other developing countries.
Yeah, based on the same feather. Yes, they know themselves. All these corrupt leaders, they are trying to cover their backs. They know themselves. So why wouldn't you pay this money? After all, when you borrowed it, all the T's were crossed and all the I's were dotted. You knew why you are borrowing this money. And you know that it will bring yield returns. So where are the returns? Tell me. Even in banks, local banks, have you ever gone to borrow money in the bank, and the bank will not even look at the risk assessment? They will not look at the feasibility, whether this loan will yield the result and all that. Is that how they borrow money in banks? So you that went to go and borrow money for profligacy, don't you know you will pay? You think that after borrowing the money, you leave office for the person that is coming, Abi? The person that is coming, having realized that he too, he have no other way, he will go and borrow money again, and don't borrow for his own pocket too. That is why the bills are piling up. That's why it's piling up. So if they are talking of debt forgiveness for this other country, why should they be doing that? After all, they are not in those countries. They don't know how the money was used and all that. But because they are birds of the same feather, they know what each of them have done to their countries. And so they want to cover their backs. The Western world should not forgive this debt. They should not. And I'll give you my reasons. They should not. Nigeria should be borrowing money to the whole world if things were properly done here. The subsidy you removed, is that not enough to fund this economy if that money is well managed? The tariff on electricity, why should you look, the naira you floated? I mean, there are so many reasons why we should not be talking about this. Let the Western world stop borrowing us money and see whether Nigeria will not move forward.
Now, Barrister, talking about the Western world not forgiving, I'm happy you talked about double standards. How much responsibility should the Western world take for also warehousing these monies for corrupt African leaders?
Until you tell them that this money is a stolen property, they won't know.
But you think
there's no way they will not know.
So why don't they return it? I mean, we have seen the former head of state, money is brought back in his name. So why is the West? How much responsibility should the West take for warehousing those monies?
If you convince them that, this money is so, they will return it to you after they have been returning money.
Okay.
And they will return money. How many of their money have you returned to them?
So what level of integrity do they display when they keep these monies and use it to run their economies and keep saying that Africa and the developing countries are indebted to them?
Mr. Okoro, they are not the one that asked you to be foolish with your money. I hope you know. in a global economy and global politics, the mistake of your neighbor is an advantage to you. I hope you know. So don't blame anybody if you are choosing to be profligate with your money. They didn't ask you to come and dump stolen funds in their country. And I can't remember any of them that you convinced that this money is stolen and they still sat down on the money. No. From Abacha to any other person, they have been returning the money. They are even magnanimous. Yes. If you want to stretch the argument, they will ask you, did we ask your leader to bring money to us? Until you even tell them that this money, so they won't know. After they will think that the man is just a businessman. He came to invest in their country. This property you went to go and buy in the US recently. You mean they told you to come and buy those properties?
So does it look like they don't know that that money is stolen money?
How would they know?
How would they not know?
That man is not.
They conduct due diligence in their home countries.
Look, until you raise alarm like somebody wrote them and told them before they now said okay, they will see it as a normal, any businessman who want to help the ministry of their country. That man is not the only one that bought houses there now. He's not the only one. He's not the only one. So until you raise the alarm and say, look, we suspect that this house this man bought is from stolen funds. Then they will not go.
Someone has raised the alarm. So let's see how far.
They have already taken action. They have already, yes, they have already reacted. You heard what they said. You heard what they said. But to you, how many of the reactions have you had here concerning Western leaders? How many? No, be sincere to yourself. How many? It can never happen. It can never happen. That is why this UN seat, they won't even listen to you because you don't have what it takes. You don't. It's not just your whatever, your population. There are so many things. Integrity of your leaders, very important. Very important because that place, a wrong decision can plunge this world into another third world war. Don't you know? They are there to stabilize the world. That's the truth. So you, with your background and your principles and all that, when you go there, won't you carry this Nigerian mentality to the UN? No, tell me. Won't you carry it to the UN? Selfish interest, nepotism. You will display it there. You display it there. So what are you saying? All the other UN organs that they are giving you opportunity to go, have you done so well?
What is going on in the Security Council? Is there any nepotism that is worse than that? When United States takes a resolution, that affects France and Russia adversely in terms of the economic sense, but benefits a part of the world, Russia and France say no.
Yeah.
Is that not nepotism?
It is not.
What is it?
It is the veto power they have. They have their reason.
So how have they used the veto power?
Protecting their own interests at the interest of their allies.
The other parts of the world.
No. Yeah, what are you saying? It is the veto power conferred on them. You can't change it. But these people,
Barrister, the world can change it.
No, you can't change it for now because these people are not stupid. I hope you know. There is a limit to what they can agree or disagree. Take, for example, this Israel and Hamas war. Donald Trump is supporting Israel and we're thinking of, acquiring Gaza and all that. But their biggest ally, being UK, refused. They have recognized Palestine, Canada, Australia. Most of them, they have recognized Palestine as a state. Against the wish of Donald Trump.
Barrister, we'll come to that. We'll come to the state of Israel because Nigeria also has a position on that matter. Now, Nigeria wants countries hosting minerals to benefit more. Mineral resources, solid minerals, all of that. Oil, precious stone, bitumen, whatever. Mineral resources. Countries hosting them, the host countries, like the oil-bearing communities, oil-bearing countries and all of that to benefit more. Now, how possible is that given that we don't have the technology for exploration?
This is not the only country where...
And the necessary corporate governance structure to even enforce compliance.
I said this is not the only country where Shell, Chevron and the rest of them are operating. Is that not true? There are other countries in the world where they are operating.
Barrister, Nigeria was speaking, not for Nigeria, but for, technically speaking, African countries bearing minerals that they should benefit more.
Mr. Okoro, that is hypocrisy, pro max. hypocrisy, pro-mark. You that is talking, your PIA, how much or how far have you implemented them? You saw the hoopla that greeted that act. What happened at the end of the day? What happened? The host community in your own country, how have you treated them, Mr. Okoro? For how many years now, Ogoni has been crying, crying. Meanwhile, people who don't even suffer the environmental degradation are suffering are the owners of the oil well in their communities. If a particular region in this country have 87% of the oil well in Nigeria, 87%, they are not producing anything, no this in their country, not in their own region, but they own 87% of the oil well in the Niger Delta, which is the south. Is that justifiable? No, tell me. And you are going to preach the same thing outside here. That's why they will just look at you and ignore you. Are you aware that most oil majors, they left because of that PIA? They left. They even forced them to sell their assets to a particular oil coin in Nigeria.
They left because they were no longer, because at that point they were ripping Nigeria, off. But now with the PIA, they just discovered that, look, it's no longer business as usual. And so that's why some of them left.
Okay.
Didn't the government act in good conscience?
No, they didn't.
Okay, the government should have allowed the international oil companies to keep.
Why are they operating in other countries? Tell me, why?
Which countries?
You mean Nigeria is the only place where...
Is it in African countries?
Mobile and
is it in African countries?
African countries and
so how far have those African countries gone with their mineral wealth in terms of growth and development?
Because they themselves, they don't know what they want.
Exactly the point. So Nigeria realized on time that, look, these people were exploiting us negatively.
It is not.
So we have to put in place this Petroleum Industry Act. And like you said, after that, when they realized, they started running away. Because essentially, part of the things the PIA talked was about developing local content so that Nigerians could get into play, within that sector.
So hold on. Now that you drove them away, have you taken over from them?
We have.
Where are you?
We have Seplat. In fact, I shouldn't mention. But we have local companies that are doing the job that they did.
They are not doing anything.
They are doing very well.
They are not doing anything. They are not doing anything. Don't deceive yourself.
Barrister, they are doing because our oil production, our levels is increasing. We are doing from 1.3, we are doing up to 1.8. Now, even our gas, we are managing the gas now very well.
No.
In the absence of these companies that have exited, some that are still trying to exist, we have local companies that are doing very. I don't want to mention names, but they are there.
Listen. These other non-oil companies that are leaving Nigeria.
No, Barrister, we are discussing mineral resources.
Really?
Yes, mineral resources.
That's the only one.
Let's stay on that. Yes.
I am telling you that your PIA is not a good document. It cannot promote business both for the local or the foreign.
No, it's promoting for the local companies, local content.
Oh my God! If it is, why are you having all this problem with your local refineries and Dangote?
Dangote refinery is working.
Because
others are coming up.
Oh, no. Are you not aware that this man is importing crude?
It doesn't matter.
You see now.
It doesn't matter.
The raw material that came from your own soil, you left it and you're importing from outside.
Okay, now that is the point. So you think that the Nigerian government should first, like they say, charity begins at home, should solve their own problem before talking about
exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, if you have a good PIA in place, foreign companies will queue into it. That's the truth. Go and read that PIA.
Okay, I'm happy that you talked about Ogoni land. Now, I want us to talk about Ogoni land. The federal government has given posthumous awards of CON, Commander of the Niger,
can you imagine?
The 9 people. Now, does that offer some form of closure for the families that lost their loved ones?
In fact, if I'm a member of those, when they bring those, I will tear it in their faces. Posthumous award for what? You are reminding them of what they want to forget. So I should now be celebrating a useless document for a man who died for a just cause. How do you juxtapose it? When they were fighting for that thing, didn't somebody know that it was a good cause? Why are you now trying to...
Maybe the people in government then didn't know.
Government is a continuum. The federal government should explain to the world why they killed those people. Those people people that even serve in that government, Abacha government, I don't know the one holding this thing today. Was Buhari not a member of Abacha's government? Was holding a very big position, even PTF and all that. So, did you see him make any comment and all? So
no, but this particular government has made a comment.
No, this
it took Angela Merkel to apologize to the world for the sins of Hitler. Now Germany.
Of course. Good.
So I believe that government is a continuum. Now, if Buhari didn't do that, the current government has done that.
No, this one is for political reasons.
Like what?
It's for electoral reasons.
Electoral?
Yes.
Or you think that the government wants to go back to oil exploration?
Of course,
they promised them a university, and I understand that they are working towards that.
Of course, that's what they said. That's the game plan.
Okay,
they said they want to resume after 30 years.
Some form of closure, to the families.
The
Ogoni people in general. Look, the government has recognized our sons that died in the course of war, for a good environment for our people. Now the government says enough of all of that. Commander of the Order of the Niger, go home. Rest in peace. Isn't that a good one?
It is not because it is being exploited. What they did now is for political reasons. They want to win the heart of Niger.
There will always be a reason for every action of man.
And when you want to do things like this, let it not be that you want to exploit the situation. Okay. That's what we are saying. Yes, you want to exploit to your own advantage.